Good morning, grade 2. Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, 1st of June. Today we will complete Mr. Channon's Tie Trouble. I hope that this story gets your attention and it's lovely. As usual, I will make a little. I know that I'm repeating every day the words for the high frequency words, but I want you to memorize them very well until you study them, because we will have dictation next week. We have the word account, budget, chuckled, disappointed, fund, received, repeated, staring. The word account means a record of money saved and spent. Budget means an amount of money set for spending. Chuckled means laughed and giggled. Disappointed means displeased and unhappy. Fund means money to be used for a special purpose. Received means accepted or taken. Repeated means said again. Staring means looking intently. Today, we will learn vocabulary strategy, and we will learn the reading comprehension outcomes. For today, I can identify and describe setting, characters, and plot. I can make inferences and predictions. I can use all of these events to make a sentence. I want you, as we learn about story structure, we learned that we have character, plot, and setting, and the plot, it should have a beginning, middle, and end, and the characters maybe have some problems in their life, and like this. So now we will watch the video that will illustrate more about the story structure that I told you about today.
What is a setting? By Teaching Without Frills. Story elements are the different parts of a fiction story. The setting is an important story element. Can you figure out the definition of setting from the following examples? The setting might be a hot, sunny day at the beach during the summertime. Or it could be a cold, rainy night at a haunted house in October. So what do you think the definition of setting is? Pause here to think, or keep watching to find out. Setting is the time and place of a story. It often answers the questions when and where. The time of a story may be in the past or in the future, in the daytime or at night, in the summer or winter. A story may take place in a school, in a jungle, in a big city, in the desert, or in a variety of other places. You can also use adjectives or describing words to tell about the setting, like sunny, cold, bright, busy, or spooky. You can determine the setting of a story by looking at the illustrations and finding information in the text. Let's try it. I was walking in the park on a warm day. How would you describe this setting? The text tells you I'm in a park, it's warm, and it's daytime. The illustration shows flowers and birds and the sun. I think it might.
So I think that in this video, she's talking about story element, as I told you, that we should have a setting, we should have a character, we should have a problem, and by the end of any story, we can solve this problem, okay? So according to what we already studied, I want you to go back to our PowerPoint. If we are reading a story, Ms. Hawkins' bake sale, our target skill is the story element. and to know how are the characters, the setting, and plot of a story. Also, I want you, while you are reading, you should use clues to figure out more about story parts. Like how, if I come and said that in this story, what is my title here? Mr. Tannen's Toy Trouble. And do you think from the picture what will happen? It will be a funny story because the cover is just have bright colors. Mr. Tannen is just smiling and have a good smile. So I want you also to know that what is the genre for my story? It's realistic fiction. So what does it mean by realistic fiction? Is a story that could happen in real life. As you read, I want you to look for the characters, settings, and everything. Also, I want to tell you that our essential question for today, how can helping others make you feel good? If you have someone in a trouble and you help him, you will be happy or sad? Of course, you will be happy. Of course, I hope that. Why? Because helping others give us happiness. Okay, I want to ask you, what are story elements? The story elements are the important parts of a story. When we pay attention to the story elements, it helps us to learn all we can do or know about the story. Okay, there are 5 story elements. What are they? The character, the setting, the problem, the solution, the moral that we are already learned from it. So every story we are learning from it one moral or one thing. What's the meaning of moral? Something good. So let's look of each element to learn about. Here we have characters. Characters are the people in the story. Okay, so maybe the characters be animals. Maybe they can pretend that they are talking and doing things. Okay, what about here? We have Cinderella. We have, in Cinderella, we have how many characters? Cinderella, the fairy godmother, the prince, and the stepsisters. Okay, so what about the setting? The setting is where and when the story takes place. So it is the place that the story is happening inside. In Enchanted Forest, sometimes we have, maybe a jungle, maybe a big city, maybe a farm, maybe a school. Okay, we should know when is the story is happening. Maybe from long ago, maybe now, maybe in the future. Okay, here in every story, we should have one problem. And this problem, it could be the situation for the character are facing in the story. And every character should solve the problem. Maybe they are facing evil people. Maybe they are being poor. Maybe they are fearing something or somebody. Maybe they are getting in trouble. So the solution is how the character solve their problem. Okay? So now I want you to know that from every story, we are learning a moral or theme. Like our story for today, we are learning what? That helping others is a good matter. Okay? Now it's our time to complete our reading. Yesterday we started to read the story. Today we will complete it from page 506 to page 511. I know that you don't have the book with you, so I want you to just look with me on the video or the PowerPoint that you have. Mrs. Sweet Apple noticed the sign on the grocery store window. I want to remind you that yesterday I told you that Mr. Tannens, he want money to fix the playground for the school. Mr. Tannen, he is the main character of the story. He wants money to fix his school. So he doesn't have enough money, Mr. Apple told him. Also, the 2 girls come to his office and give him a jar full of money, but it's not a lot of money to complete fixing the school yard. So Mrs. Sweet Apple noticed the sign on the grocery store window. And I want to remind you, do you think Mr. Apple noticed what? Mr. Apple noticed that Mr. Tannen want to buy his own toys to help the school. So Mrs. Sweet Apple noticed the sign on the grocery store and she called her husband Mr. Apple. So this is Mrs. Sweet Apple and this is Mr. Apple. Both of them, they are husband and wife. And she asked him, why is Mr. Tannen selling all his toys? Has he gone crazy? Mr. Apple told her about the school budget and the playground money. The town was buzzing all day. So what happened here? Mr. Tannen want to sell his own toys because when he will sell it, he can help the school playground. So he tries to make a budget. A budget here means an account of money to fix his school. Everybody in the town was calling Mr. Apple and calling each other. Mrs. Sweet Apple called Monsieur Bijou at the bakery, who called Cleo at the cleaners, who called Dr. Demi, the dentist. It went on and on until even Zach, the night watchman at the zoo, got the word. So everybody was telling each other that Mr. Tannen will sell his toys. And all of them knows that Mr. Tannen's toys are so important for him. On Saturday, the whole town showed up for the occasion. Monsieur Bijou started the bidding. Occasion here means that they have like a big bowl, a big place. Everybody is sitting and he will say that, hello, just I want to buy this for 50, maybe 50 dirham. So everyone will just say, yes, it's for 51. It's for 52, like that. So Monsieur Bijou started the bidding. I will give you $50 for the donut and Danish tie. Lolly, the librarian, bought the book tie. So everyone bought a special tie for a special occasion. Dr. Demi was so proud owner of the toothbrush tie. Kylie handed over her entire piggy bank for the hot dog tie. Mrs. Sweet Apple just had to have the wedding bells tie. And of course, Mr. Apple chuckled as he paid quite a bit of cash on the crab apple tie. So everybody was buying a special tie for a special occasion. The occasion was a huge success. Every tie was sold except one. Mr. Tannen couldn't part with his beloved blue ribbon tie. It was a present from Mr. Apple for being a great principal. He looked out at a sea of townspeople all wearing his tie. So everybody was wearing, if you look at the picture, everybody was wearing what? Special tie for Mr. Tannen. Thank you all. I always taught my students, the more you give, the more you get. With this money, the Lyndhurst School will have a new playground. Mr. Tannen swallowed hard. My toys now belong to the town. Wear them proudly. And throughout the spring, that's just what everyone did. But sometimes Mr. Tannen would forget his closet was empty. He would open it to get a tie, and with a tinge of sadness, he would remember he only had one tie. Again, what was the main problem in the beginning of the story? How many characters do we have? We have in the beginning Mr. Tannen and Mr. Apple and the people that live in the story. Where is the setting of the story? It is the school in the town. Okay. What was the main problem in the beginning? That Mr. Tonnen can't fix the playground of the school. Then he tried to solve the problem by selling his toys for everybody in the town. But now his closet is empty. There is no toys in the closet. Nobody has any toy in the closet. So he started to wear every day the same tie. He was wearing it. Then he would look outside at the playground being built. So every day the playground started to be built. We have to give it to get it. Soon it was opening day at the new playground. Mr. Tonnen had invited the whole town to the ribbon cutting ceremony. Now it's a day that they will open the playground for the school. He tucked his speech in his pocket, grabbed his special scissors, and adjusted his tie. He wished he had on his official ribbon cutting tie. The schoolyard was overflowing with people. Mr. Tonnen made his way through the crowd, so everybody in the town come to help Mr. Tonnen. Now it's my time for questions. What clues in the text help you understand the meaning of the word budget? If you remember, the word budget means the sentence mentions playground and money for the school, so a budget must be a plan for how the school spends money. How do the characters react when they hear about the tie occasion, and why? They are surprised that Mr. Tonnen is selling all of his ties because they know how important is the ties are to him. Okay, I hope that everything is really clear. What do you think the characters will do? They will probably go to the occasion and buy the ties. Why do you think the townspeople pay so much for the ties? They were paying a lot of money for buy the ties because they want to help the school to raise money and do the playground. Do you think the tie will worth this amount of money? I don't think so. But I believe that whole people want to help each other. Like if we are in a school and we will just bring our old stuff and try to just sell it for each other for money, and this money we will take it to help poor people. So it's a fund. So everybody in the town try to just buy this ties because they want to help the school to do the playground. What does Mr. Tonnen mean when he says, the more you give, the more you get? He means here that if you feel better about helping others, it means that you'll make your world a better place. How do you think Mr. Tonnen feels about selling his toys? Okay, Mr. Tonnen feels happy because now there is enough money to build a playground, but probably he feels sad. Why? Because now he have no ties to wear. What does Mr. Tonnen remind himself of when he looks out the window? That he should give to get something. He should give his ties to get money to do the playground stuff. Okay, why does he do this? Because he is sad that his ties are gone. So he's trying to feel comfortable and feel better, that he remind himself he sell his ties to have a better matter. What clues in the text tell us that Mr. Tonnen misses his ties, that every 2 minutes he just was looking at the closet to search for his ties? Now it's your time for your exit ticket. Please, how does Mr. Tonnen feel after he sells his ties? What special day is at Lyndhurst school. What tie is Mr. Tannen wearing? He only has one tie, the one that Mr. Apple gave it to him for being a good principal. Also, Mr. Tannen feels sad after he sells his ties, and today is the day that he should open the playground in Lyndhurst School. I want you to talk about the idea that Mr. Tannen have to raise money, how he get money to help his school. He just make an occasion to get money from it. Occasion means to get old things and try to buy it for the best amount. What does Mr. Tannen's idea tell you about the kind of person he is? He is a so kind person to help other people to do another things, even if he is sad for buying his ties, but he tries to please the student to have a new playground. How do the town people support the school? By buying the ties for high amount of money. Now it's your time to do this. I want you to read your story. Please try to use the link down to read aloud, or try to use this audio. Just press it. You will find here, if you just press it, see here, someone is reading the story. Okay, so if you finish, try to give me how do you feel about my lesson, and give me Mirzano. Okay, Mirzano evaluation. Goodbye for now and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.